We unfortunately just saw one of the darkest moments of Donald Trump's presidency, which is crazy to say considering how high that bar is, or I guess how low that bar is. But the Senate just voted 51-49 to confirm Kash Patel. Yes, the man with the enemies list who participated in the January 6th insurrection, who has promised to go after all of Donald Trump's supposed foes, including Republicans, is now the FBI director. Not for Donald Trump's term, not for a couple of years, but for an entire decade. It is terrifying, considering what we have already seen in the mass purges at the FBI. This is not just a political issue. This is an issue of our domestic and national security. And Kash Patel, maybe the least qualified of all Donald Trump's nominees, is now running the FBI. And it's a scary reality, one that was called out by Senator Adam Schiff and several takedowns, but one that led Elon Musk to lash out and threaten him, and we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now let's hear from Senator Adam Schiff.
This is someone we cannot trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up. In the first Trump administration, as we are seeing in the second, you rise to the level of your sycophancy, and no one is a bigger or more dangerous sycophant than Kash Patel. This political hack does not deserve to be in this building. He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the safety, the public safety of the American people. We will vote no. Our Republican colleagues, intimidated by this president and threats of primary challenges from MAGA world, may vote to confirm him. But as my colleagues have said, they will have to live with that vote, be accountable for that vote, and be accountable for all the destruction that Patel does to this premier law enforcement agency. Us Democratic members of this Judiciary Committee, stand shoulder to shoulder with the professionals in the FBI, with law enforcement everywhere, and we wish our colleagues would do the same.
So this is obviously the sane position that anyone would take on anyone as insane as Kash Patel, to call out how not just unqualified, but radical he is, how dangerous he will be for our country. I don't think conservatives or people supporting Donald Trump really understand how much the FBI does to keep them safe. And I guess clearly they don't care. Very clearly they don't care. And Elon Musk certainly does care about Kash Patel and care about people not being safe. That's why he's been so supportive of this all. I think, anything that helps him be more corrupt and criminal, he's good with. And that's why he shared first a tweet from Charlie Kirk that I want to play. It was a little snippet of Kash Patel attacking Adam Schiff. And then we're going to check out the actual Elon tweet.
Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump. Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world. And he continued, not surprising, he's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. And that's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. And then he should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress it enough, that started a presidential impeachment. Now, your history is way better than mine, but I can't remember the last time a president was actually impeached. It's a significant process and escalation, and it's reserved for the time when it actually shows a crime, not when it shows the manufacture of fake information to show a fake crime. The guy that found and manufactured the evidence with Charmella was the prosecutor in the case against the target of the investigation. That is the ultimate, from a prosecutorial standpoint, conflict of interest. But he knew what he was doing, and he thought he would never get exposed. And I think thanks to, I think it was John Solomon and his fantastic reporting, we now see what I've been saying for years, that I thought he met with him for sure, and it will come out, and it now has.
So Elon quote tweeted that video from Charlie Kirk, writing, "Adam Schiff is a criminal." All right, let's make a pretty easy connection here. If Kash Patel has an enemies list of the people who he considers criminals, who he wants to go after on behalf of Donald Trump using the full force of the FBI, he wants to investigate those people, he wants to lock them up. And Elon, who is now, I guess, directing Kash Patel, since he's the co-president, says that Adam Schiff is a criminal. What is the implication there? Are we saying that anyone who opposes Kash Patel in such a way and opposes Trump, that's criminal, needs to be investigated? Because that's what it feels like to me. This is the intimidation of the administration. It is the whole point with a lot of what they do, to just make people feel unsafe. Anyone who challenges them, make them feel physically unsafe. That is the whole point here. That is why we saw Donald Trump remove the security detail from so many of former members of his administration, people who are Republicans, people who worked for Donald Trump, people who the only bad thing they did, was oppose him. Not that that's a bad thing. Clearly Trump sees it that way, but that's the point. It's all about intimidation. And I can understand why Kash Patel would be so mad at Adam Schiff, considering how he grilled him in his hearing. In a clip I want to check out right here.
Senator Schiff.
Mr. Patel, early in this hearing, Senator Durbin asked you about the January 6th choir of inmates whose song you promoted, and here's what you said. "I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording." Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. "So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the War Room. We. If you had nothing to do with it, Mr. Patel, why did you tell Steve Bannon and all his listeners that you did?"
That's why it says we, as you highlighted.
Yeah, and you're part of the we, right? When you say we, that includes you, doesn't it, Mr. Patel?
Not in every instance.
Well, that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word, but maybe not. Well, you also said this, Mr. Patel. We were able to capture the recording thanks to their courageous singing, and we were able to take it to a studio. So let me ask you, Mr. Patel, after saying we took it to a studio, did you take it to a studio?
Me personally, no.
After you said that we digitized and recorded it and all that, did you take it to a studio and digitize and record it?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so you were lying to Steve Bannon and his audience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was using the proverbial we appropriately, as you've identified.
The royal we. Oh, I see. And so you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
With promotions on social media and saying you were going to get this to #1 on the billboards, right, Mr. Patel?
I think it did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Isn't that great? People who violently attack police have a #1 song thanks to you, Mr. Patel. That's something to be really proud of. Now, you've claimed, Mr. Patel, you didn't know about any of these people in the choir. Is that right?
I did not know about the violent offenders, and I did not participate in any of the violence in and around January 6th.
Tell me, Mr. Patel, what due diligence did you do to find out who was in the choir before you promoted their beautiful music? These people assaulted law enforcement. What due diligence did you do?
Senator, I didn't record it myself.
So you did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you're being considered for director of the FBI. And here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associating with now the President of the United States in song were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
glorified
it in song,
and I did not make a single dime out of it.
In song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that answer.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff?
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song with someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16 years in government service.
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You could say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters.
How could any normal person watch that video and think that Kash Patel is qualified? You would have to be a spineless Republican, which is unfortunately who is in the majority in the Senate, who just made this guy FBI director for a decade. A decade. I hope there's a Democratic president in 4 years, 2028, 2029, who is just day one, get rid of that guy. Donald Trump fired 2 FBI directors. I think a Democratic president should be able to fire 1. And that is a goal to look forward to, please. And it's what we're going to be talking about, fighting back on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.